Hello, Doug from DougSoft here. I'm going to be starting my robot blogs today. I'm a little bit about me. I've been a programmer in BASIC since before there was a Visual Basic. I've had a number of other programming languages. I've programmed for a living for most of my life, and now I've just started getting interested in robots, such as Robie Sr. here, which we'll be talking about in a later blog. Now, robots have been intriguing me for a long time, ever since there was a scientific robot on Lost in Space and things like that, HAL from 2001. But I've always been too busy doing my other programming projects to really mess with them, because it's more of a hardware thing. You have to actually solder things and screw things together and build things, which is always somewhat interesting, but I've been busy with my programming projects. But now that I've not working for a living programming anymore, I have more time to investigate my hobbies. So now I'm going to be working on robotic things such as this one, and I'm going to be blogging as I go as an incentive for me to learn and move forward, and hopefully it will give other people a chance to learn too, beginners to start off and say, okay, this is how it goes. I'm planning on showing the good and the bad and the ugly, because I'm going to blog as I go, which means I'm not really going to give a lot of planning to what I do. Of course, I will plan some, but I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm going to show mistakes, because people really make mistakes. Nobody does it perfectly the first time every time, and might as well show that. Might as well say, okay, this is why I did that, and it didn't work, because other people will be thinking the same way. It's like, why didn't they do that? Well, guess what? It didn't work. But anyway, I'm going to be drinking my espresso as I give my blogs, and it's actually Nespresso, and maybe Nespresso will give me some support someday. But I'll be drinking my coffee, my Nespresso, and sometimes my K-cups, and I'll be talking about how things go and why I do things, and just generally giving everybody a chance to get started on doing the robots themselves. It's actually a lot easier than you think. I've been doing robots for only about a month, and already I think, well, why haven't I been doing this? It seems pretty easy. Of course, it's easy now because it's gotten a lot less expensive. It used to be quite an expensive hobby, so you had to dedicate not only time but some of your resources to doing the robotics. But nowadays, you have a number of suppliers giving relatively inexpensive parts, and you can buy kits to get started. You can take an old robot like this and refurbish it. My first robot experience was a car from one of the many companies that do that, and it had all of the sensors on it. It showed me how to use the Arduino to do the programming and detect all the sensors, how to move the motors and everything. So that was an excellent experience for me to get started, and I'm not going to reiterate how that went, because there's so many videos on the market and so many blogs that show how to do that now, so why do it again? What I'm more interested in is helping people to get past, okay, I put this kit together, now how do I really do a robot? So I'm going to be really doing this robot in my first blog series. I'm going to take him apart. He doesn't work now. He was a 1980s style kit from Radio Shack, and he used to do radio controlled, basically. And you could record that radio controlling, and he would play back the radio controlled actions, but he really didn't have very much smarts or anything. So I'll be giving him some smarts, and I'll be giving him the ability to move around autonomously, which means I don't have to control him with a controller. He just rolls around the room and rolls around the building and does what he wants to do, and every once in a while we interact. That's my plan. We'll see if we really can get there or not. I'm definitely not at that stage in my robotic experience now, but it looks like the path to get there is quite possible, and I'll be blogging as I go so that everybody else can get up to speed with me as I do that sort of activity. So, without further ado, but with a sip, I'll be going to dismantle this guy and get into seeing what's inside and what do I need to change to make him work the way I want to. Nespresso makes a good cup of coffee.